This is the Tabernacle podcast with Haley Kroupa and me, John Vermilia. What's up, Haley?
Hi, what's up?
You're not nervous?
I'll only be nervous for a few minutes.
Just for a few minutes?
Settle down.
Yeah, that's cool. Haley, thanks for being on the podcast today. If you don't know Haley Kroupa or her husband, Brad, and their family, you've been a part of our staff for 3 years, 2 years?
Since 2023.
23.
Yep.
Yeah. Officially a member of staff, but you've been a part of staff and a part of church forever.
Yes.
Brad and Haley serve all over the place with students, with youth. It seems like every event that your mom, our administrator, Tracy Romzik, has put on, you guys are there setting up and tearing down whether you wanted to or not.
Yep.
But, and also, you were a part of the student ministry here
the
when
OG.
I was youth pastor. You are an OG. You remember, you've been through all of the evolutions of the Tabernacle.
Yep, I share that as a fun fact when I get to know people. I'm like, I'm actually OG when John Vermilia was Johnny V.
What, dude, that is, was that 2003, 2004?
Yes.
Wow,
Yep.
that was back in the day.
Yep.
So we're excited to have you on the podcast to share your story. And presently you serve as the TABkids Director in Cadillac.
Yep.
And we also have a wonderful plan for your life beyond that, because it isn't just kids. We know that you help run things there and corral Josh and Adam Sharp, our campus pastors.
Somebody has to.
Yeah. And Jamie can't do it alone.
That's true.
Yeah, 100%. So we want to go back to there's one other thing I wanted to say. Britton wishes he could be here.
Oh, I bet.
I know Britton wishes he could be here because you were on his hit list when we started the podcast years ago. And
I've been waiting.
Yeah. When are they going to ask me? Yeah, right. You weren't like coerced to be here, right? You're on here of your own free will.
Yep. I was asked if I was willing, and I said I could be.
You could be. We just had to get it on the calendar. So thank you, Martin Rizzi.
Yeah.
So let's take it back to the beginning. Where were you born, and what was your earliest memory?
Oh my gosh. I have no idea.
You don't know where you were born?
Oh, I do. I was born in Traverse City.
Okay.
I don't know what my earliest memory would be. That is a hard question. We moved around a lot as a kid. So, I mean, I think probably my best memories are spent in Bel Air with a lot of my Bel Air family.
Gotcha. So, like, part of your extended family was in Where's
my
Bel Air?
mom's from
I don't
Bel
even know
Air.
if I know where that is.
North.
Yep. Got it. Yeah.
So a lot of our family is all still there. And so I spent a lot of time there growing up.
Gotcha.
So those are probably where most of my memories are from.
Yeah. So where are you in the birth order?
First.
You're the first.
I'm first.
Okay.
Yep.
And you have 2 younger siblings?
More. Yes.
More?
Yep.
Lots of young.
Lots of other siblings. But yeah, the most well-known would be Emma, Jake, and Aiden.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't tell Emma I forgot her.
Yeah. I will not.
Yeah. So family moved around a lot.
Yep.
Was it a put-together family? Kind of.
Yeah, pieced together here and there. Like generationally, we came from broken families. So it just it was a pattern that continued.
Yeah.
Until, hopefully me.
Yeah. Hopefully you, right?
Brad and I plan on sticking this out for the long haul. So,
right. So you had said before the podcast that probably the most impactful part of knowing where home is was when you moved here.
Yes.
So when did you move to Buckley, Michigan? The big metropolis of Buckley, Michigan.
Summer of 2003, before my 8th grade year. So that was this was the longest I'd ever lived in a house.
Really?
From when I graduated in 2008. So that was the longest I'd ever lived in the same house.
So we moved to Buckley the same year.
Yeah.
Because you moved summer of 2003.
Yep.
We unpacked at Tabernacle Village in November of 2003. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
That we were both new kids.
You didn't start youth pastoring until that same school year? Or was it the next? Okay.
But the church didn't have really anything going for students.
Yep.
And initially, we were just with senior high students meeting in homes.
Yep.
With all those.
Yeah, so I wasn't involved
Anna,
in that.
Clayton, Chad,
Yep.
Brad.
Yeah, as soon as the firehouse got opened is when I started coming
Really?
with my group of friends.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that was 03 or 04.
So that probably would have been summer, fall of 04.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
So what were your first impressions of moving to the big metropolis of Buckley, Michigan? Did you love it immediately, or were you like, because you've been in Traverse, like you moved around a lot, like what kind of cities had you been in before
So we
that?
were in Traverse City for 2 years. I went to an elementary school there and then a junior high there. And so it was very big. And I never liked moving. It always was awkward being the new kid at the new school.
Oh, yeah.
But my mom is super cool. So I made her come walk me to my locker.
Yeah. Nice.
For comfort.
Nice. Here in Buckley?
Yes, here in Buckley.
Nice.
And that was not met with any weirdness. It was just a group of super, super inviting girls.
Yeah.
There was a group of about 5 to 6 of us that just were super close-knit throughout the majority of junior high and high school. And I remember the second I walked through the door, I was greeted with, do you play basketball, volleyball, softball? Do you play any sports? Because Buckley needs numbers.
Yeah, it's always about the sports.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if I was any good or not. They wanted me to play.
They wanted you on there. Now, what I remember, so our daughters were younger.
Yep.
In fact, our oldest, Isabel, who you guys work together now,
yep.
She was, I can't remember, 2nd or 3rd grade, and maybe 2nd. And her impression of coming to Buckley School, I'm trying to find out if you had the same, is the moment she got there, she was surrounded by kids.
Yes.
And it was like, we always joked, it's kind of like a new kid in Buckley is like, tell us about the outside world.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about Traverse City.
It's like attack in the sweetest way possible.
Yeah.
It wasn't scary at all. It was just like, oh, they've not seen a new person in a while.
Exactly. She had the same thing, same school year.
Yeah.
It was like,
and I was weird. I'm still weird. It's great. But I used to be into blue mascara.
Oh, yeah. Of course. In
so
8th grade.
Came with blue mascara. I didn't know what like hair products were yet. So I was just very fluffy. It was great. But they were all still very welcoming, and they showed me what was good, even in little old Bucktucky.
Yeah, little old Bucktucky.
Yeah.
I did not realize moved here the same year. Anyways.
Yeah.
What was faith like in your family? Like, what was your conception of God before that? Was it like always there? Was it?
Nope. So probably my biggest influential people growing up were my aunt and uncle in Bel Air, the Masons.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've met Roger before.
Yes.
So whenever I would go with them, we would always go to church, pray. So there was like I knew something,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know what it was about yet.
Right.
But I did have some of that growing up. But it wasn't anything more. Like there was no personal relationship, not within our own like home, until youth group.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and even then, like starting youth group, it was, oh, this is cool, this is fun, this is what everybody's doing.
Well, wait a second. So how did you first hear about it? I don't know what the word on the street was, because I had ideas of conquering the whole town.
I mean, I think you did. I think you opened up the firehouse, and I think there wasn't much to do around here.
Yeah.
And so that was what we did. I remember having good coaches during that time that would release us from practice early on I believe it was Wednesday nights when we always had youth group.
Oh, we were always fighting with sports.
Yep.
Yeah.
But my group of friends would always make sure to head over right after.
Who was in that group? Sorry, this is for the podcast family. You may not know these people, but I'm going down memory lane here because I was only youth pastor for about 2.5 years. But it was great.
It was Nora.
Yeah, Nora Chalker.
Yeah,
now Nora Kuhn.
Yeah, and Amanda.
Yeah.
And Becca.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So
they were like, you guys
and
became
then there was
the
some
stalwarts.
Guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was what we did, and it was just about fun first and something to do, and a community of adults that you could tell cared about you.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere to be other than home, which
Right.
a lot of teenagers just,
Right.
don't love being at home.
Yeah, no, that's a common.
Anything else to do.
Yeah, that's a common deal.
So that's what it was about for, couple years.
I remember that group of young ladies
Mm-hmm.
first coming, and that's kind of when I knew that this youth ministry was here to stay.
Yeah.
Because you guys might have just been there for fun,
Mm-hmm.
but what I saw was people that whenever we opened the doors, they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
And I also saw, because you were all student athletes, I don't know if you consider yourself one of the good ones or not, but they were influential in the school.
Yep.
Like, we had the cool kids, which it isn't, or what I don't mean is that student ministry is not just about the cool kids, but
Right.
man, if you can get the cool kids, the prime movers,
Yep.
the influencers, and then at the firehouse is what we called it.
Right.
Because it was in a firehouse. Do you know how much flack I took for that? Like, I would be on the road and they would say, "Oh, what are you?" Well, I'm a youth pastor. We have a student ministry called the Firehouse, and they'd see the shirt and they'd go like, "That's a really cool," or like a really cheesy name for a youth group. And I'm like, "No, you don't get it.
Yeah.
We're literally in a firehouse."
No, it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. We had television, we had games, we had
Yep.
couches. What was happening?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We painted it black.
Yep.
So, so what happens next? Like when did you make the jump, first of all, from like attending student ministry to church?
I don't know even if I was in high school when I was attending church here. I don't know that I made it a point to come to church on the weekends.
Because at the time, it wasn't a value of your family.
Right.
So you would come on Wednesday,
Yep.
but not necessarily on Sunday.
Right. I want to say maybe junior year we were attending as a family a little bit. And then senior year, I don't know that I attended as much, but I think my family continued to. So senior year, I more fell away a little bit. But
which is also common.
Yeah. Yep. Just senior having some more negative influences come in. But it's like I always knew where my foundation was. I don't know if it was sophomore year. I want to say that my mom had, and probably other leaders too, was probably an event we did, a live festival.
Oh yeah.
Was that Indiana?
Yeah. I think it was Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah. So a big crew of us went to that, probably my sophomore or junior year. And that was, I think, probably my turning point. And I'm pretty sure got baptized right after that in Gitchigumi.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that year was 2006, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure this out. So I think in about 2006 was that festival, kind of changed my life. Became more of a personal relationship there with Jesus, and then got baptized. And I just felt like that was the start of it. Where like that loneliness kind of disappeared. And I realized that there was more.
That's
so. But then, I mean,
I'm fighting tears.
Senior year, I kind of
took
a different path. I don't feel like I ever strayed too far, but I did.
The senior year experience for so many students is like you get busy. You're trying to figure out, what am I going to do next? Am I going to pick up a trade? Am I going to go to college? Am I joining the military? Because there's all that pressure.
Yep.
What can you tell me, or do you remember, like what was the catalyst? Like you were the catalyst for your mom and dad and the rest of the family to start coming.
Yep.
But like, what was that conversation like at home? Or was it a conversation? Was it you pushing? Was it just, wow, Haley's really into this?
Yeah.
And then, because I know your
Yep.
parents, I love your parents,
Yep.
and God's done amazing work in their life.
Yep.
And this isn't their story,
Right.
but it is a pretty spectacular example.
Yeah, it's a great generational domino effect.
Yeah.
And I don't think I pushed anything. I think it was maybe just like them seeing where I was going. And then maybe even them seeing me wander a little bit, and them seeing that if they started to go to church, maybe I would, kind of get back in there.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of this push and pull situation there.
Because I'm trying to remember the first time I met your mom, and
Yeah.
I have a feeling that it was probably at student ministry.
She's
But-
probably asking you for help with me.
Yeah, maybe. Or I think I remember her starting to serve at like one of our events, but I had no idea who your dad was.
Yep.
And then I feel like it might have been at your baptism.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I think that's when it's like, oh, here's the whole family.
Yep.
Because I knew Emma,
Yep.
and I didn't know these two little rugrats who I thought were twins.
Very close in age.
Yeah, Jake and Aiden.
Yep.
But you're saying you didn't push them at all.
I don't remember doing that, no.
Well, knowing your mom
Yeah.
and knowing her faith background,
Yep.
I wonder if that kind of reawakened something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And it was like,
Yeah, because I think she had the same influences growing up, was the same aunt and uncle.
right.
So, she'd always known about something too, but she just didn't live it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I pushed anything. I think it was just kind of witnessing to it.
Yeah. Well, this is why, and this for the podcast family that maybe doesn't know you. The reason I'm so excited about this is that after you became a part of this, your family followed,
Right.
and then have become, and I'll say this, I'll stand up in church and say it, have become such an integral part of the fabric of the Tabernacle, especially at the Buckley campus.
Yeah.
Your mom is on staff now.
Yeah, she's the church mom.
Yeah, she's the church mom. She's the church administrator.
Yep.
Mike was on staff for a while, working with our facility and leading mission trips to Haiti. And just seeing what God has done in your whole family has been spectacular.
Yep.
And you were the catalyst. You were the first domino.
Yep.
And that's just really huge.
Yep.
So what's next after? Okay, so you're wandering a little bit.
Yep.
Your senior year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So had a boyfriend, now husband, Brad. What's up, Brad?
Really? Okay. Where did we meet Brad? Because if you guys don't know Brad.
So this is a good story too.
Brad is like the mysterious, quiet one
Yep.
who is the most solid dude that I know now. You're saying he
Yep.
may have not always been solid then, but.
We both did, came from youth group growing up. So we both had some sort of relationship with Jesus.
Yeah. But he's not Buckley.
Nope, he was Traverse City.
He's a Traverse City boy.
Yep.
Okay.
So we both wandered a little bit. And he worked for my mom. She was the Bill Marsh Pit Row manager.
That's right.
And he was one of the Pit Row guys. He is 2 years older than me. So, she introduced us the summer before my senior year. And she actually said to him, "You should date my daughter."
I did not know this was an arranged marriage.
Yeah, it was. She picked some well. She picked Dom too, I think.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's debatable.
Yeah.
Benjamin, is that debatable if Dom's a good one or not? We'll get Dom on the podcast and we'll find out.
Yeah, he's coming around.
Okay. Yeah. No, we love Dom.
She introduced us, I think I stole his number out of her phone.
Oh, wow.
And then that was it. And we've been together ever since.
So that was during your senior year or after?
Before. Yeah, right before.
Okay. Right.
Yep.
So you're already dating this guy, Brad.
Yep.
And he's a Traverse City boy.
Yep.
What church was he a part of up there? Do you remember?
I don't actually know. I don't think his family went. His family have some sort of a Catholic background.
Got it.
But I don't know if they, other than Easter and Christmas, if they ever went.
Priesters.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he was a part of a big youth group there. But I'm not sure which one it was.
Gotcha.
So anyways, we I moved to Traverse City after I graduated. And then we got married in 2011.
Okay.
Started going to a church in Traverse City.
Yeah.
And
that is so weird because it's like, where did Haley go?
Yeah.
You
did you even notice I was gone?
Yes, I did. I 100% did. Yeah. But I don't.
Yeah.
At this point, 2011, church is growing.
Yep.
We're trying to figure out where we're going to seat everybody.
Yep.
And then it's like, because I would see you occasionally, and I'd see you and Brad occasionally.
Yep.
But you were living in Traverse.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like, okay, they're with the Traverse City people.
Yeah. So we were attending in Traverse.
They're with the cool people.
Yep. I got pretty involved. I did some work through they would do a childcare program through the church where they would provide childcare for the moms that were going to Bible study.
Nice.
So I was doing that. So I got pretty connected there, met some people.
What church was that? Sorry.
Bay Point.
Bay Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, before it changed.
there you go.
Yeah. So
Now I'm connecting dots. How
and
do
that
I
was
not
a
know
huge,
this story?
That was a huge church, and
Victoria's there.
Yep.
Matt
So that's
Hughes
where
is
I knew.
there.
That's
Yeah.
where I had met Victoria before. Maybe I didn't meet her. I just knew of her because
Yeah.
she was on stage.
Yeah.
And then
And that was a happening church
Yeah,
in the
it was huge.
mid-2000s.
Yep.
Yeah, it was the thing.
yeah, we loved it. It
Yeah.
was great. But we never. Well, Brad never made connections there. So we would go together. We were both into it, but I was making friends and getting connected in places, and he just kind of wasn't. So he never, made more than a couple friends there. And then we had our first child in 2014, had her dedicated there at Bay Point, and then shortly after that started coming to Buckley. I think that's probably about the time Mom started working here.
Was that when, and again, we're here to support all churches, but was that also
right when they split?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a split at Bay Point. It wasn't pretty.
Yep.
And there was I think it's now called Kensington.
Yep. Yeah. It was right after they made that transition. We were like, this is too big for what we are wanting right now.
Yeah.
And I knew Mom was loving it over here. And so we thought, let's go back, give it a chance. And I just remember coming back and be like, I'm home.
Really?
Yeah.
Now we're still in T1 at the time, or we'd moved to this new building in T2?
We were still in T1.
Wow. That's a big shift from Bay Point, which is like Disneyland.
What year did we build?
Don't ask me that. I don't remember.
2015?
I think it was 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, 15, 16.
So it was
right
about that
there.
time. We could have possibly been in T2 already. But it was really close to that same time range. And Mom was the TABkids Director here.
That's right.
And so Brad and I instantly started serving because she needed people. Got connected. We both started going to groups. And he started serving in youth group. And I didn't serve in youth group yet at that point because I was home with the young kids.
Right. So we gotta pause there for a minute.
Okay.
Most families, and this isn't a criticism, I'm just going to say it because this will benefit us both.
Yep.
Most families, when they have young kids, serving with kids is like the furthest from their minds.
Yep.
It feels like, or it seems like, in the 23 years or whatever I've been here. What was it that motivated, and especially with men?
Yeah.
Are you guys just freaks, or why is it?
Brad is.
Yeah, well, he is a freak, but in a really good way. He's one of the coolest guys I know.
He's very patient, and stuff just doesn't really bother him like that.
What was the motivation to say, "Hey, this is our church. We're brand new. We're not going to sit for 5 years." You guys just jumped right in. Was it the connection with your mom?
It definitely was that to start with. We were like, "Wow, she needs help. This area really needs people." But also, I've always had the mindset of, if I am utilizing a ministry for my own children, I want to be a part of that.
Wow.
And granted, I would do different age ranges than my children were to start with. Like when they were in the nursery, I didn't want to be in that room holding other babies when I held babies all the time, but put me with the older kids.
Okay.
And then
so you still got the break, but you're serving in the same machine that's taking care of your little kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I just,
Brad, that was easy for him too? I mean, did he have the same mindset, or did you have to push him a little bit?
I'm sure I just signed him up. But he just didn't say no. So, and the kids, gravitated to him. And honestly, it was probably like Sam and Benji were probably in his group back in TABkids.
Benjamin, can you verify? He doesn't remember.
Like, we remember them being young in probably with Brad.
Wow.
And so now it's really cool to see them like their senior year, and Brad's still around with them.
He's their small group leader now.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is not supposed to be tears. You're supposed to have tears. I'm not supposed to. Okay.
I don't have those.
Wow. Time flies.
And it's I think really cool and special to see that like full circle moment of like
100%.
like you leading me in youth group, and now my
husband's
husband's
leading my kid, my youngest.
your kids.
Yeah, that is.
So
that's how church is supposed to work.
Yep.
Yeah, and it also, talking back, again, we don't want to tell anyone else's story, but you had mentioned generations.
Yeah.
that were maybe far from God, and we're seeing that maybe close. You said, hey, our intention is we're going to be different,
Right.
and that's going to impact your kids. And there's a verse that talks about the sins of the father are repeated on their children up to however many generations.
Yeah.
And it isn't a curse, but it's the curse of sin.
Right.
But it talks about, but for those who seek God, there's blessing for their children and their children's children.
Right.
And so it's just pointing out a fact of life is that we can change cycles.
Yep.
We can break cycles.
Yep.
And you're a cycle breaker.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Oh,
trying to.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
That's all we can do.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. So, how is faith impacting your marriage during this time? Or was it just always there?
No, I mean, I think we just learned more that we had to put God first in our marriage. We wanted our kids to see that we were putting God first, so that they also chose to. And yeah, I mean, it's helped us to stay in community, which has also helped our marriage.
Yeah. Did Brad make connections here?
Yes. Yep. He started making connections at youth group, and then started going to Fight Club, and he's got a great group of guys that he's friends with.
Who was youth pastor when Brad came? Was it Brian?
Yeah, I think
it wasn't Zach.
Right.
Zach would have already been gone.
I think he was gone
because Zach. I think Emma was in youth group with Zach.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think it was Brian.
Yep. Yeah, and Brian's a Pied Piper as it is.
Yeah, so Brad's been in youth group here since Brian.
Okay.
He's been through all the different
He's been
pastors.
through all the different, wow, trying to find a youth pastor that will stay, Britton Bishop, but no stones. Sorry, I'm just playing. We're glad that Britton's where Britton's at. But yeah, one of the things one of the questions that even come to this podcast that I wanted to ask is, so church, it seems as an outsider that church went from something you both kind of had a background in, you with youth group, him with whatever, you know, kind of Catholic situation, to now it's front and center. Because if there's anything I know about Brad and Haley, I told you, and I'm going to say it again, if I could clone a family like yours that is always participating in everything that is made available. And this is before you were on staff. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
You felt like staff before we ever hired you on staff.
Yeah.
It was the easiest to hire ever because it was like, well, they're practically on staff as it is.
Yep.
Brad doesn't know this, but there's been more than one time in the youth pastor search where we've said, why don't we just ask Brad away from his career at Bill Marsh, right? I see that face. But just whether it's worship on the weekend, involved with students, involved at youth group, sometimes with both, with kids and students. I was at a men's retreat. He was like the third person I saw. Well, there's Brad, of course.
Yeah.
Brad is serving everywhere. And when other people, and again, I'm not comparing, but, and not trying to shame anyone, but if there's a men's ministry thing that's happening, at least for Brad, it's like, well, of course I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Even though I serve here and at events, and my wife is buried now in, it just seems that it's central.
Yep.
Like, what is that motivation like?
I mean, I think we just really try to prioritize being a part of everything that the church has to offer. Like, we want to lead by example. And I mean, I feel that same way with children's ministry. Like, I would never ask somebody to serve in the ministry that I was not really serving in.
Wow. That's leadership.
So I think that's just what we do.
That's just what we do.
We also both love being busy and doing all activities, and serving. So we try to be involved in everything. Right. Probably a little too much sometimes.
Yeah. Because I didn't even mention with you with women's retreat or again, whatever your mom is, whatever event she's helping to produce for us. Yep. I've seen you both at weddings, at funerals, at, the annual meeting serving pie. And it's like, Tracy, who's on the pie? And it's her family. And usually led by Haley and Brad.
Yeah. I mean, I have a hard time resting. You
do?
Yep.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that here in a few minutes.
So this is my rest from the women's retreat planning committee this year.
Yeah.
This is my rest year. And
good.
I'm going to have a hard time resting.
Why?
I just don't know what I'm going to do at the retreat.
Just receive.
I'm going to try my best.
You're
so
gonna
if you see me walking around doing something I'm not supposed to, ladies, tell me to go take a nap.
Yeah. Well, I just found out this morning that the ripple effect goes on because apparently my son is going to be at women's retreat.
Yes.
I'm going to give him a hard time about this.
He's going to be serving in the kitchen?
No, I think he's going to be playing drums. Yeah. He's going to be in the
band.
So he's part of Matt Hughes's man crew that's there to serve. I can't remember what they call them, but they're
the Tab women men.
Yeah.
Tab. Yeah.
Or the Tab man women or something like that.
Tab women men.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something like that.
Yeah, we love the Tab women men. They're great.
Yeah. So you're at church. You're involved. What was the next big? So you mentioned a festival where you really got serious about your faith.
Yeah.
And you were baptized right after, and then we covered that part. Like what have been some of the impactful moments since then between that and you becoming a part of the Tab staff? Was there anything that stands out most to you?
I don't think so. I think just getting more involved in each aspect of the church, like making sure I'm at the Tab Women Bible studies, getting to know more people. It was pretty easy to decide to come on staff.
Yeah.
And my kids were in school, and I thought, well, I have a free day, and this needs to be done. So
you see how we roped you in, right? Yeah. Oh, we have a free day.
Yep. And then my son going to preschool this year has freed up two days, so Tuesdays and Thursdays. So those are the days I work. I don't know. It just has felt easy and has felt it fits.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anything impactful happened to make that kind of come around, but it's just kind of all fallen into place. And I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And
Brad's super supportive of that, or yeah. So that would have been, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So 2 years ago.
Right before Easter.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
We had this kind of the way the hiring went here in Buckley is we knew we had to have a TABkids Director.
Yep.
And we had 3 different people apply, but all of them only had certain days hours that they could give.
Yep.
And so I'll never forget sitting in a leadership team meeting and Martin Rizzi, who was taking the lead on that because he was over Next Gen at the time. And he gives us a report. We stayed completely out of it.
Yep.
And then he comes in and he goes, I want to hire all 3.
Yeah. Yep.
And he goes, hear me out. And then he just had this elaborate plan of how this team, which of course is going to be Isabel, Christina Simon, and Haley Kroupa, how this like monster machine is going to get this done.
Right. Yeah.
And it sounded convoluted, but Martin was convinced. He did all the paperwork, and we signed off on it. So all of a sudden, we went from 0 to 3.
Yep.
And it was kind of a dynamic mix because you're all so different.
Yep.
And it was also, or it could have been a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Because you're all so different.
Yep.
How did that not become a recipe for disaster? Like, is there anything that you can put on that? Because look, relationships is what everything's about. But you seem to do relationship really well.
Yeah. So, like Isabel had the most time to offer and the most to offer as far as like schooling background.
Okay.
So she had the leadership part of that. Christina is phenomenal with organization and tasks. So
yes. She's always cutting things.
So
she's always prepping things and putting markers together.
I love on Tuesdays. If she listens to this, she'll laugh because every Tuesday when I come into our staff meeting, I see all the bins set up for the weekend, and I see all the things I don't have ready for my class. So she is the doer of all things, and then my piece of it is was like the communication and personality and the social skills because I'm the talker, you know.
Yeah, you're
Isabel,
the energy.
Yeah, Isabel
You're
and Christina
the joy.
don't want to do as much talking or energetic stuff, and then there's me.
Yeah, right.
So I think that's how it worked, is because we all brought completely different aspects of it to the team of what needed to be done. So, I mean, I think it worked just great for that year. And then if we want to go into like where I'm at now.
Yeah. So somewhere along the way, the leadership here, we felt like God was pointing us towards Cadillac.
Yeah.
And we're launching a campus in Cadillac. And I know all three of you for a while were really working like double duty.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one day a week.
Yeah.
And the congregation of the Tabernacle doesn't have a clue. I think, well, most of them don't have a clue how much goes into starting a campus.
Right.
And I know you guys were working hard, and all three of you were taking shifts.
Yep.
So there would only be two in Buckley, and there'd be one helping in Cadillac. And,
Yep.
and I'm not even talking about all the pre-work and the training and
Right.
trying to help volunteers go there. But the campus is launched, and then out of nowhere, again, people think that I'm not like manipulating all I'm usually the last to know on staff.
Yeah.
They're like, John, we'd like to tell you something. Haley's moving. And I'm like, my initial thought was, where are Brad and Haley going? Well, no, because we haven't been able to clone you guys yet.
Yeah.
And then they told me about, hey, she wants to be the TABkids Director in Cadillac.
Yep.
Tell me how that came about. Like, tell us how that process went.
Yeah. So I knew I was going to be gaining an extra day with my youngest going to preschool. So I thought this could be a good opportunity for me to do a little bit more. I just knew I wanted to be doing more. Here I was the scheduler / summer camp lady.
Yeah.
And I just had this feeling that I wanted to do more. And then we had made the move from Interlochen to Kingsley.
Sorry, where you physically moved your
Yes,
home.
we physically moved over the last year.
Is it really Kingsley, though? Or
It
is it
is.
more like the sticks of Kingsley?
It's pretty close to Fife Lake.
Okay.
It's kind of in the sticks.
Yeah. So you're closer to that
So we're
highway
about
there.
5 miles to jump onto 131.
Gotcha.
So I realized that it was about the same distance, maybe just a touch further for me to drive to Cadillac than here. And I said, why don't I do it?
Wow.
So that, it was simply a thought that came into action real fast. But I absolutely love it. It's really fun to be a part of like the brand new campus.
Yeah.
To feel like we're really gaining momentum and growing over there is really a cool experience.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, Adam Sharp, who you and Brad are very close to Adam Sharp and Samantha Sharp. And that's part of the community fabric. You guys have been involved with student ministry here. Right. And Adam at the same time so he didn't coerce you. Like he didn't.
No, I was over there first. He followed me.
Okay. There you go. So there's the truth. You heard it here first. Right?
I was there first.
Right.
Yep. I was trying to flee him. And then he was like, hey, that sounds pretty cool.
He thinks so cool. Well, I don't believe any of that because aren't you neighbors in Kingsley now?
Yes.
Right. You both built homes there.
We have a dirt road.
Little
dirt road
connector
to each other. So they just can't get rid of me.
Oh, well, who moved there first though?
Technically us in a camper.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I'll have to ask Adam Sharp about this. What's going on, dude? No, I'm just messing. But so now our staff in Cadillac is Josh Bolus, Adam Sharp as campus pastors. Jamie Grimes, who's doing worship and admin.
Jamie Fisk-Grimes.
Fisk-Grimes. Yeah. Well, I always say Grimes because of the Fisk. These hyphenated names. Yeah, don't do that to an old man. I'm struggling. But
I didn't do it.
No, she did it. Do you guys get any work done there? Because what the Tab family needs to know about is that staff is hilarious.
Yes.
It's like they're not the Eeyores, they're the Tiggers of our team. Well, maybe not Josh, but he's becoming one.
Yeah.
You know, and then you add his wife into that mix.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But we do. We get all the stuff done. And like I said, we are growing numbers over there. So we are doing, I think, great stuff. And we just have a lot of fun while we're doing it.
So was Brad, who just built community here,
Yep.
what is that transition like for him? Because now it's like, okay, new people again.
Yeah. He was always good with it. I think it definitely helps that his buddy Adam followed him over.
I hope Adam's listening.
He still gets to see him quite often, and now he's been going to the Fight Club over in Cadillac too, which is cool.
Really?
Yep. So he's willing to do whatever, and so he's been great with it. I think we both miss the community in Buckley at times, but that's why us as a church, we have whole events together sometimes, and so we still get to see people.
That's what was so cool about seeing him at men's retreat.
Yep.
He knew everybody.
Yep.
And so
that's what's super cool about making this whole 3 campus feel like one church, right? Whereas people like Brad and I know a ton of people in Cadillac now, as well as Buckley.
Right.
So it just feels really cool when we go to retreats and stuff like that to know that many more people.
Yeah. The other really cool piece of it is the challenge of multi-site, which we're living it, you and me together as staff mates.
Yep.
Of course, our whole staff comes together every Tuesday. We're here all day. That's always a riot. Mm-hmm. But there's other meetings, and then you're close enough where we can say, "Hey, can you come on a Thursday here?"
Right.
And so it's not like we don't see one another. But one of the threats to a multi-site when you're trying to be one church in 3 locations is making sure that wherever you go, it still feels like the Tabernacle.
Yep.
You can't just do that with a sermon cast screen.
Yep.
And if anyone embodies the Tabernacle DNA, you do.
I'm trying.
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
Because from, I've told people the story of our church is even though it's a 90-plus-year-old church,
right,
the recent history of rapid growth and into multi-site, I mean, this church was never more than 200 some odd people in its whole history. And now
right,
it's one of the largest churches in Northern Michigan. The DNA becomes super important.
Yep.
And having people that already embody it, because in our recent history, you've been a part of it.
Yeah.
You're OG, original gangsta. Brad has become part of the fabric.
Yeah.
And so now having you guys as part of the staff, everybody. Do you feel old?
I don't until my youth kids remind me that I am old indeed.
Really? You're not old. You're barely 30. You're 34.
I am.
34. Now that makes me feel old because you were an 8th grader in student min.
Yep. But
so,
no, I don't feel it. Yeah,
not at all. But having Adam there, Josh is newer. Well, Josh has been a part of our church for the last, I'm going to say 7-8 years from a distance because they lived or they worked at a camp for years and would come with their camp staff when they could.
Yeah.
But then when that campus is closer to them, now we just got to get them to move to Cadillac.
I think they're working on coming closer.
Yeah, we got to get them closer. Yeah. So what are some of the challenges you're facing now? So now you're on staff.
Yep.
And what I love about our staff is most of them don't come from other church staff. So we get to make church staff what we think church staff should be. What are some of the challenges that you're facing right now within TABkids? Like if you had a chance.
Just volunteers.
Huh.
Yeah.
So what's your sales pitch? Because this is going to go out to people in Manistee.
Yeah.
We know Valerie is a part of the TABkids structure. So she's a part of that meeting on Tuesdays as well.
Yep.
She can always use volunteers.
Yep.
We know we need them in Cadillac. We always need them in Buckley.
Yeah.
Give us the sales pitch. Why should people be involved with
I think my
TABkids?
Testimony is all the sales pitch I need. Like this is what drew me in to find my relationship with Jesus. And if there weren't people serving in that youth group, I wouldn't have felt cared about or loved, or there wouldn't have been people there to see me.
Right.
And it starts young. It starts from the nursery room where there's new families that come in that are young and they want somebody to hold their baby for an hour so they can go and learn something new.
Yeah. So they can be in worship undistracted.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it starts there, and it's an hour a week. But but it's more than that. It's like I don't want people just coming in to volunteer babysitting.
Right.
I want them coming in and want to see the children individually and start getting to know them and see them grow up to be a
podcast
senior,
producer.
Wow. I want to see the kids all the way through.
Wow.
Because it's just really cool how it has that domino effect.
What do you think are the reasons people don't? Because that is the perfect motivation.
Yeah. Yep.
But not everyone has that same eyes to see that you and Brad have.
Yeah.
And again, we're not picking on people, but
Right.
what are some of the barriers to people deciding that they want to do it?
I mean, people are, there's really valid reasons, right? Some people just are not kid people. And I don't want them back there either.
Good. Yeah. I don't like children. Okay,
yeah,
we don't want you.
Super valid.
Yeah.
People are tired because they're, have their own children. Relatable. I get it. That's valid. I would always challenge, dig deeper.
Yeah.
Because the other parents are doing the same thing. But there's valid reasons, and it's everybody's own choice. And I just pray for people to have a heart for kids like I do in the aspect of serving.
Yeah.
Because the kids, especially when it's the same teacher often throughout the month, they'll come in and Miss Barb over here, everybody calls her Grandma Barb.
Yeah.
We could all use a Grandma Barb.
Yeah, 100%. She's a rock star, man.
That's my vision for Cadillac, is that we all have, I find a leader in each room. So that person takes charge of the K through 3 room, and that's their classroom. They get to know those kids super well. But it takes more people, and it takes heart, and
So is it in the K through 3, that's when the element of teaching comes in, correct? How hard is it to be a TABkids teacher? If I'm a volunteer and you're recruiting me, because I've told the church you've been here, and I don't always say it right, but I mean there's times when it's like, hey, I would serve with TABkids, except usually I got another gig on a Sunday morning. But if I'm John that's saying, hey, I want to work with K through 3,
right?
What is that going to require of me?
So our curriculum and lesson plans are just laid right out for you. We love if the volunteers take a minute to read them before they come in.
Yeah.
And so that they know what they're doing, because then it's just easier for everybody. But they are laid out with everything that you have to do. We have all of our games, activities, all ready to go. It is really self-explanatory, and the biggest challenge is kind of controlling the room.
Gotcha.
And so I think when you're prepared, that's easier to do.
Right. So that's K through 3 and 4 through 5.
6.
Right. Or 4 through 6.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's called Ignite.
Nope. We've stopped that. So
we've stopped Ignite.
It's just K through 3.
Where have I been?
I don't know.
I thought we had Ignite here. My bad.
It might still say that somewhere.
Okay.
But it's K through 3 and 4 through 6.
Right.
Yeah. But even preschool, those kids learn a lot in preschool.
Really? So my little Avy Bean, she's learning stuff.
I bet you she is, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, she always comes up with something. Look what I drew you, Papa.
Yeah. So no, it's easy. I think we have the stuff laid out nicely for everyone, and especially if you prepare, it's fun. I enjoy, and I learn right alongside with the kids every week.
Now, when someone signs up to be a part of the TABkids team, is it every Sunday you're never going to church from ever and ever? Yeah.
Nope. So especially in Cadillac, since we only have our one service right now, I try super hard to only schedule people once a month.
Gotcha.
I do have some people that I know are willing to do twice a month, and others that can attend here on Saturday nights, and then go over and serve Sunday mornings.
So it isn't like you're saying, we own you forever.
No.
And there's no way to get out of it.
No, I would never want anybody to have to serve every day of the month and then only watch online.
Right. Yeah.
I want them to participate as much as the rest of us. So that's what I try to do. In a perfect world, we'll have double the volunteers and 2 services, and you can serve one, attend one. But that's just not where we're at yet.
Yeah. I also get the feeling that, and this is one of the cool parts of, I think, any ministry at a church or our church, but especially with TABkids, is I get the sense that there's also, it isn't like you're a silo, but the people that do serve there, they really like each other. And so there's like this team.
Yep.
Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, we try to have that culture of like we're our own small group. So we really try to get to know each other in that way. We encourage everyone to go to the women's Bible study,
right,
or the men's groups, so that you're also in community. We want everybody that's serving to be growing in their relationship with Jesus as well.
Right. So there's another thing that I want to ask about, and this is, and I know, but I want the people listening to the podcast to know, why is it important that we have men involved with kids ministry?
Yeah.
I know we do have men.
Yeah,
but
we do.
Can always use more men.
Because I just think male role models are really important in kids' lives, especially little boys, and they're just more relatable. They feed off each other's energy better because they're boys. And I think you never know what kind of household kids are coming from, and if they see a positive male role model that's following after Jesus, I think that's really important.
Oh, we need men. Yeah, we're desperate for men.
And we have a good crew of men in Cadillac that are serving with the kids.
Awesome.
Yeah. But we can always use more of both.
Well, yeah, we can use them there. We can use them in Manistee. In Manistee, if you're from Manistee, we're in March of 2025. We're trying to open full TABkids in both of our services. And the only reason that we don't have it there yet is we just need more people. And so this is a call out to dudes. Be like Brad. Back in the 90s, it was be like Mike.
I will say he's left me with the TABkids ministry.
But he's still involved. Come on. He's with students. We need him in students and kids. But
they've stolen him for guest services over in Cadillac.
Oh, that would be Chad Allen. Yeah, he's probably, he's...
I let him go, though. It's all right.
You let him go. Yeah. Well, if there's other men, then that's a good thing.
Yep, there are.
So what should we be most excited about in Cadillac? Or what do you think is next for Cadillac? Like, I know you guys have these little plans. Like, I always read your staff meeting notes, and it's like...
I know, we're funny.
You're funny, but you're also... For just being one service, right?
Yeah.
Right. It seems like there's so much going on. But like, give us a little hints.
I think just the four of us are big go-getters, and so we just have big dreams over there and like goals to grow. And so I think anybody that's part of the Cadillac community should just be really excited about that.
Yeah,
because we care. We genuinely care to see the growth in the church and the community and getting out into the community more. I mean, we meet every Thursday morning at a coffee shop. I'm trying to get Adam to do different coffee shops each time.
Oh, yeah.
He likes to stick to the same spot.
Yeah, he's a routine guy.
I'm trying to break that a little bit, make him nervous.
If anyone's going to break it, you're going to break him. You're going to wear him out.
I find it fun.
Yeah.
So we're out in community, just trying to spread the word. So I think it's just exciting, the growth that we're seeing over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. So we pushed it with kids.
Yep.
We pushed it with youth. I would add that if you're not serving somewhere, serving, there's a blessing that I don't think people understand. Like, I think sometimes we get in our minds that if I serve, that somehow it's going to cost me more than I'm going to get.
Yep.
What has been your experience with that? Both in your life and in other people's lives.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's just, I think serving is just life-giving. Like, it makes you just feel more gratitude for things. And for the kids ministry specifically, you get to know these children. I mean, I just think they brighten your day. And it just keeps you in community, which keeps you accountable. If you have somewhere that you're serving, you're more likely to be going to church.
Yeah.
So
because you're connected.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that you said that at your previous church, before moving to Buckley, you felt connected. You were serving. And Brad didn't feel as connected, but when you came, that was a key to you both feeling connected, was
Yep.
not just attending things.
Right.
It was also being a part of, I think people miss out on, they can attend a church for years and years and years and never really
Right.
know anyone or be known.
Yep.
I mean, I'm thinking of friends. I'm
Right.
thinking of Adam's brother that successfully came to our church for years
Yep.
and kept us at arm's length.
Yeah.
Now he's super connected.
Yep.
He's a part of the fabric, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Right. We love to
Yeah.
give.
It's all a choice.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be connected, then you won't be.
Yeah.
But I think it only hurts you.
Yeah. Because you don't grow.
Yep.
And once you're known and you know other people,
Yep.
then they can ask the right questions. And even when we say accountability,
Right.
accountability gets a bad rap because accountability, it's like, oh, well, someone's going to make sure I mind my P's and Q's.
Right.
No, accountability is literally an accounting.
Right.
So we know where you are.
Yeah.
So when you
Yep.
leave,
People check up on you.
people check up on you. Hey, are you
Yep.
doing okay? Hey, are you in the hospital?
Yep.
Hey, do you? And the other cool thing I wanted to ask you about. So that little gaggle of 8th grade girls,
Yeah.
where where are they now?
Oh yeah. Where are they now?
Yeah, where are they now? At least one of them
Yeah.
is
Back.
and serving.
Yep.
A member.
Yep.
Talk about Nora.
Yep.
Right. That's part of the full
Yep.
circle as well. Are you guys still pretty connected?
Yep. Yeah. Nora and I are still super close. And then I know Amanda and Becca are both
Yeah.
doing
They
great.
moved away.
Yep. They're
Right.
Yeah. They are just moved away. But I'm sure if they were in the area, they'd come back too.
I think it was the weekend between Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there was Amanda and Drew.
Yep.
And all of their kids.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey,
I'm pretty sure they come every time they're in town.
every
to
time
a
they're in
service.
town.
Yep.
Well, they live in the big city.
Yeah.
The city. You came from the city to Bucktucky
Yep.
to Kingsley
Yep.
to now you're working in Cadillac. But next question. What's the worst thing about being on staff?
Ooh.
Speak freely. It's
Mhm.
okay. Are there any negatives? Because we do have a good time. And you've brought so much energy to our team.
I absolutely love it. I know people will joke and say Tuesday's the worst because there's so many meetings. I love people. So
Yeah.
bring me in.
Well, we have to have those meetings
know.
too. Yeah.
They have to be done.
I mean, we could have them all throughout the week
Yeah.
and then we'd put all the miles on our
Yeah.
cars.
No,
and,
I love it. I love being a part of the staff. It's great.
Do you ever feel like people look at you differently because of that? Or could you just care less?
I don't know if I would notice.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
I'm just happy. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'd notice that.
But you're also, you know who you are. And really what people think of you has never kind
Right.
of
Yeah.
been a bother.
Nope.
Or kind of. So there's no bad things about besides Tuesday.
No, I don't really think so.
That was your one
I
shot.
absolutely love it. So I don't have anything bad.
Okay. So if someone wanted to get involved,
Yeah.
where do they go?
Just come see me.
So that's in Cadillac.
Yep.
In Buckley
But also
or,
just go to the website, connect with your TABkids lady at the counter, no matter what campus you're at.
is it a huge application to have to submit a resume?
No, it's so
Yeah.
easy. You can do it right online. We do a background check and a little get to know you type thing, and we'll get you on the schedule.
Do you think some people are frightened by the background check? And I'm being serious.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't
So
know.
what are we looking for with that? Because I've had at least 2 different families
Yeah.
say, I don't,
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure you're safe. You're safe for the children. So
that's all there is.
They're our biggest priority. So
So it's not like this invasive, we're going to know everything about you before you
yeah, I mean,
came
I
to
don't
Christ.
do the backside of the background check, so I don't know the information, but
Right. Well,
I just know they have to be approved.
right. Well, I just learned about the process.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want people to think I don't care about what's going on in our church. It's
Right.
a lot of these details. We have a great team that's making these happen.
Yeah.
From my understanding, there is one set of eyes,
Mhm.
maybe 2 set of eyes
Yeah.
that ever see the background check.
Right.
And so our staff, all they see is cleared with kids or
Right.
not.
Yep.
So if you've got a DUI
Yep.
from back in, just as an example, and that's one that'll flag quite often.
Yep.
All that means is you can't transport kids.
Right.
But the you're never going to know that.
Right.
So you can
Yep.
come work for Haley and they're not going to know about your drunken past.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yep.
be fine.
No, we just want to make sure you're safe with the kids, and that's all.
Right. So there's just little categories of cleared for kids, cleared for students, cleared for cafe, cleared for whatever.
Yep.
So I just want to reassure people that might be listening that are like, hey, I want to get involved with kids, but that might be an obstacle. People aren't going to know your business.
Yeah.
They're not. And then it's kept in a file. I know your mom is super involved with those things, but even then, Tracy, as our administrator, doesn't know everyone's backgrounds. There's a pastor, usually the campus pastor, that sees what's happening, and your privacy is very important to us.
No, all I care about is the check mark.
And that you suit up and show up.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Could you say something, because I may or may not overhear conversations with some of our TABkids directors, is it a bad thing if it's Sunday morning and then I just decide, even though I'm signed up, that I'm just not going to church today?
I mean, it's not great. It's usually fine. It always works out, but it's not great.
Yeah. A little bit of notice that you're going to skip church.
Yeah, notice is great.
How much notice would be good? Come on, I'm just trying to help you guys.
I mean, 24 hours is better, but we're already shorthanded as it is, so we might not even be able to cover you even if you are sick. So, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we always do.
Yeah. So maybe more than just 30 minutes notice would be good.
That's great.
Yeah, that would be good. Cool. Anything else that you want to share from your story? Which for me, this has been a blast.
Yeah.
Because it is. I never thought I'd be here more than 2 years.
Yeah.
And now it's the only place I want to be.
Right.
Here at the Tabernacle, here in Northern Michigan.
Yep.
These are my people. This is my family.
Yeah.
You're a part of that, huge part of that. But seeing you and your life from 8th grader to mom to staff member, is there anything else you wanted to throw out there or share with us?
I don't think so. Other than just be connected. Get your kids connected. Because if they're going to youth group, they're going to have that foundation for their whole life. So it's just really important how it can come full circle.
Yeah.
So
and it can change the trajectory of entire family groups forever and ever.
Yep.
I see your younger siblings looking up to you.
Yep.
And
maybe not looking up, because I'm pretty short.
No, looking up in stature, looking up into Brad.
Yep.
So that's been massive. So, all right, lightning round. Favorite movie right now?
Oh no! Don't do this to me.
Come on.
I'm not good at this stuff.
You just got to throw out one.
I'm really not good at this stuff. I just blank.
What was the last one you watched that you can tell us? Was it Nacho Libre?
Probably a kids movie.
Because you're in full in mom
Wild
mode.
Robot.
Wild Robot is their most impactful movie.
No, I didn't say impactful, but that's the most recent one I watched.
Okay. Go to fast food restaurant.
I do not like fast food. If I had to, Chick-fil-A.
Yes, because she's a Christian. Yep. Go to coffee order. So if someone's out there, Cadillac campus, I want to bless Haley on a Sunday morning. And not that the church coffee's not great, because I'm sure it is.
Iced caramel macchiato.
From?
Anywhere.
Yep. Iced caramel macchiato.
Or just cold brew.
Mm-hmm. Sweet or no?
No.
No sweet.
No.
Sweet. Do you have a Yukon River knife?
No, I don't.
Does Brad need one?
Probably. He'd
Probably
love that.
Okay. Well, this podcast brought to you by Yukon River Knives. There's also there's a store, I think it's like Dublin or something like that. This is a shout out to the Manistee people. Someone said to me that that the Dublin General Store hasn't got a shout out on here since Britain.
Oh.
But it's because they used to provide meats that never made it to they never made it to Buckley. They would give jerky to Bishop.
Manistee.
Yeah. And then say, hey, this is for the podcast. Benjamin and I wouldn't even see it. And he'd say, yeah, they gave us some meat, but it's gone. Seth got into I think he's lying. I think it might have been Seth, but I have a feeling that Britain was a part of that.
I bet you he was. Mm-hmm.
So Dublin General Store, that's a shout out to you. But if you want regular mentions on the podcast,
That's funny.
you need to show me the meats.
Send us some jerky.
Yeah. Cake or pie? Because that's a big argument within.
Pie.
Why?
Because I just don't really like cake.
Yeah, because you're a Christian. We're about to fist bump. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. We're all about the pie. But we do love Trace cakes.
Yeah.
Or Trace Base, as she's known.
Yeah. Cake can be good. And if it's from Tracy, then yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then it's good. So, Tab podcast family, if you're listening and God's moving in your heart at all, we could use you with children, all 3 campuses. If you're wondering about participating, that's my favorite part of your story, is that without question, without a big argument, without a big push, you and Brad have embodied it. And I mean it. More young families like yourself, young families becoming, I don't want to say middle-aged yet, because to me, you're still an 8th grader.
Me too.
Yeah, you're still a newlywed with this cool guy that fixes cars, and he's always available. But this is the model for how it works. And so I would encourage you, if you're wondering, say yes. Say yes to a group. Say yes to serving. Say yes to the participation of the church, because I want my kids to be like your family when they grow up. And I don't know of a higher praise that I could give. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank Brad. Yeah. Brad, we thank you.
I want to be like him when I grow up.
Oh,
definitely.
Wow. Yeah, just the ability to, when he speaks, people listen.
Yep.
But he doesn't have the need to speak. I don't have that gift yet. I always have to say something. And he's just the strong, silent type that I would never want to mess with. So we're grateful for you and Brad.
Thank you.
So, Tab family, if you'll share this podcast, this is your chance to get to know Haley better. Encourage her, if you've heard it. Thank her for sharing her story, because it can be weird to come down in the basement and do all this stuff. So until next time, this is Haley Kroupa, our producer, Benjamin Vermilia, and me. We're signing off.